Hi, everybody. How's it going? This is Tom here, and we've got Jordan.
Jordan's also here. Really good start on the buttons there, YAYA, as you've been playing 2 songs at once, and that's fantastic. We were about to start before.
I like to multitask.
You sure do, as you were texting as we were about to start the podcast as well. And we'd just like to say, welcome aboard.
So for anyone that doesn't know, last week was Robbie's last week on the pod. He didn't please us enough and didn't please Ben Zeri enough with his last segment, which was really just a slap in the face to us, I think.
And really that's all 15 years of friendship boils down to is did he amuse us? And the answer was no. Get out, Robbie.
So YAYA is here. For long listeners of the show would know that Robbie went on a date with YAYA in the past, so that's how we know about her. She works at FBI, which thank you FBI for letting us use the studio. So YAYA, what do you think? What are your first thoughts? Is it is it a hard thing to produce?
What's it like going from being on air to not being on air? You are essentially you're really demoted.
I'm very I just like to put myself in different challenges such as this one.
Yes. That's great. That's a really good attitude.
So amazing,
that's
right?
Exactly what you need for Studio B, as usually only about 3/4 of the microphones work.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I love your attitude, YAYA. It's so much better than what we've had in the past. Like, it's a really refreshing mood, I think, that's being brought to the pod.
And I think if we were to ask a higher power, they would probably agree that YAYA is an excellent addition, and there's only one way to do that, and that is, of course, to get Tom, who is an avid atheist. And I really like emphasising. I was about to say that that's a really good word to put as a predisposition to your atheism, because you're one of those ones that your version of God is talking about space and how far away Mars is from Earth, and saying that's far more interesting than a higher power.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It is really interesting. The thing is, what we were going to do is get you to play the sax, which you've only played once in your life for a segment called Jazz with Jordan, which is coming up later. But if you are correct, if God wants YAYA on this, surely he's going to bestow to you levels of saxophony that I'm pretty sure kids that are on their 6th of Stedford that play saxophone like can barely play Baker Street. It's an extremely complicated saxophone piece.
Is it? Okay, yeah, well,
I don't know, maybe not. It might be like Led Zeppelin. I might have just been an incredibly bad sax player. It's probably more likely.
So let's see how we go. So YAYA, hit Baker Street. Oh, shit. I don't even know.
Okay, so he's got the alto in his hands. Okay, that's it. Yeah, you go. You jam. All right, that's a shaky start. Sounding... I can't tell the difference. Who's playing? Is it Tom or is it the guy? Okay, but now both of you do it at the same time to just show how flawless this is. Beautiful! It is like a chorus in the middle of the damn Vatican City.
Yeah, that
is the sound of God. Welcome aboard, YAYA. We're really happy to have you.
Hi. Yeah, that was very impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm actually really impressed with that. I've progressed very well in the last few weeks. That's sax.
That was great.
Zero effort. But that's what happens when you got the power of God on your side. So, Tom, I guess we should also ask: are you still an atheist?
Avidly atheist.
Okay, right.
All right.
Just consider it.
Okay.
I'll leave this brochure with you.
Okay, so now we're moving on to something that we talk about all the time, which is who in the Australian media do you hate more than anyone else? Which is...
The only appropriate person to ask first is, of course, our new anchor host, YAYA, who's only been in the country how long?
2 days. No, I'm kidding. 7 years? 7 years, yeah.
How do you not know any Australian celebrities? Because we were discussing this before on air, and you were saying, I just don't have any idea. You've been here for longer than high school goes for.
Thanks, Jordan. Thanks for this very positive.
We said we were going to be really positive and upbeat. And,
I know.
You're welcome.
You're delivering it. I feel like right at home here.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, no. I do. I just kind of try to involve do more interesting things with my time than
celebrity
listening
gossip.
To.
And then watching Channel 9 at 7:30.
Yeah, well,
If you call that a life.
I'm not 70 years old yet, but
Oh, you went to The Bachelor.
Sure. Yeah,
Right.
let's just go with that. Let's just go with that.
Oh, that's Channel 10, isn't it? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, okay. So, Yaya, who is your most hated celebrity? Do you have one?
Do I
Why
have
did you
one?
swear off mic?
No. All right, who's yours, Jordan?
Who's mine?
Yeah.
Oh, it is an easy foregone conclusion. And to give you a quick hint, fourth letter in the Greek alphabet. Tom, pop quiz, what is it?
Alpha, beta, I don't know.
Really? You don't know?
I should know it, yeah.
That's a much better quiz.
Delta.
That's right. You got it in a second?
Yeah.
That's fine. I already told you this beforehand as well, and you just plumb forgot. But
Yeah,
that's
sorry,
three hints that you got, including one that is
Well,
just
I thought
the
yours
answer.
was different, because, so I was thinking anything but Delta Goodrum, because, she's also mine. And Yaya's. So,
Well, I found out who it is yesterday.
yeah.
In Madame Tussauds, when I saw the fake Delta Goodrum, that looks nothing like her apparently. But yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty, uncharacterized. I don't think she'd do very well as a wax sculpture, because she's such a normal, plain, boring person, isn't she?
Yeah, I just thought it was like a token bimbo blonde on a bench. And I was like, oh, is that supposed to be something?
It does look like she's been fed nothing but Wonder White her entire life, right?
Yeah.
And somehow her skin has just been bleached as a result of that.
She's just a very frustrating celebrity. She's like a guest, she's a host on The Voice, and it's all about Delta, isn't it? She's so just hate her. I don't care about Australian celebrities really, but just she really gets to me.
Yeah, that's true as well. I would say exactly the same thing. It's this kind of constant feeling of I don't really care, but if I had to care, ooh, Delta.
Yeah, she does stuff like there's the person singing on The Voice, and it's like, oh, it's all down to Delta. Everyone else has chosen their team, and Delta has to decide. And then it's like, oh, what will Delta pick? Is she gonna press the button? Is she gonna press the button? Oh my god! And she knows that she's gonna do it or not, and she's just wanting all the attention on her.
What the most annoying thing is the crowd going, Delta, say something, Delta.
Yeah.
You fools.
Yeah.
Of course she's got to say something. Her only job is to press a fucking button.
Yeah.
That's her entire job, and everyone's being like, please, Delta, please complete that.
Yeah, and she does, and she's not, just do the job. She will stand up and try and press it with her foot or do something. That's not that creative, just press the button. That's it. Yeah, so anyway.
It's like she was watching a David Attenborough of The Life of Chimps and seeing him picking up bananas on her feet. She was like, of course, it's my inspiration.
Okay, so we're going to do a little drama exercise where we're at a dinner party.
Right? And we have to be civil to the person that we hate most in Australian media, which, as both Tom and I have already disclosed, is not much because we really don't care about this that much. But just to hold our already pretty well-held tongues on this matter, Yaya, would you care to put on your best Delta Goodrum voice and we'll have a civil conversation with you just about your career, what you've been up to, all that caper.
Oh, nice sound effect there, Yaya.
Sure.
Let me see. All right, so
All right.
we're at a party. Oh, is that Delta Goodrum over there, Jordan?
Yeah, I think it is. I don't think that we should approach. I'm too scared. She's pretty famous.
All right, let's approach. Oh, Delta.
Hi, guys.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Once again,
it's like one
amazed.
of those Arnold Schwarzenegger
What would Delta
soundboards, you know?
Goodrum say?
It's just him.
Yeah,
It's just him. It's just
yeah.
a prank call, you know that much. It's just clippets from the movie, isn't it? What was her movie again?
Delta Goodrum.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like one of
She
those.
had a movie?
Yeah.
Who is this woman?
Yeah, she did it was like a teen comedy kind of very low budget Australian movie.
Yeah, and I highly recommend that you watch it.
Yeah.
Thank you. That sounded very very
As
promising.
we are talking to Delta Goodrum at the moment.
Sorry, yeah.
If I wasn't, just between you and me, it looked like a piece of shit. Hating Alison Ashley, that's right. Terrible.
Oh, hating Alison. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So, yep. Oh my God, there she is. She's just graced through the room like the Barbie doll she is. Delta, how are you?
I'm good, guys.
Fantastic.
How are you?
Awesome.
Great. Yeah. So, what's being on The Voice like, Delta? Do you Do you feel privileged, honoured, that kind of stuff?
It's just, it's so much stress and pressure. Those people are coming there with dreams and hopes and, that button. Pressing that button is just really hard work.
Yeah, I like the order already.
Yeah, no, I really thought that I wouldn't, but having made this exercise, YAYA has this ability to get you into a position where you feel empathy with other human beings, which is something that Robbie just doesn't necessarily have.
Doesn't
possess. What a great, this is just a fantastic pod without Robbie.
I think that's
so
all we're getting from that.
That's all we needed to go.
Okay, so Ben Zeri, last. Okay, let's move on.
This is easier than I thought. No. Or is it?
Yeah.
Oh, she's got the buttons very fast as well. Much faster than Robbie.
All right, so now we're going to do a thing that was put to me last week by Ben Zeri, which is that I have to, every week, research a certain topic to do with different, what do you call it, like what is it? What is this kind of stuff?
Tom,
astrology.
You should know, seeing as the premise to this is that you did not pass your degree at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. You're put into the sorting hat. You're obviously Hufflepuff because you're a huge dunce for getting something like that. It's a massive part of your life that you've left open.
What is this, astrology or?
And he's got a question on his shirt at the moment that says, "Am I on earth, in heaven, or in hell?" He doesn't even know that. Extremely lost man. And as a result, he never disclosed to us. Ben Zeri bought with him when he took one of Robbie's golden dragon tears to keep it away from Dark Wizard Matt Tarrant. If you don't know any of this stuff, that's your fault. You have, but that is like 22 episodes of the podcast that we cannot go into at the moment. And if you'd like to, ask the guy that listened to 22 of our podcasts in a row.
In a day.
That's like the kind of thing that like Korean nerds do when they just pass out and die from playing StarCraft like for too long, like he did that amount of pod research.
Yeah, a guy is claiming to listen
that.
to 22 hours of pod in 24 hours, which I can't believe.
It's like when I walked into an internet cafe when I was 14 and skipping school, and there was a dude there with StarCraft playing, passed out with drool coming out of his mouth and this half-drunk juice there.
Really?
That's whoever that guy is.
Oh my god.
We have one of those now. The StarCraft of FBI podcast.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to tell us about palm reading.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah. You've got to pass 6 of these. That's right, to become a Hogwarts magician. Whatever, look, he's going to teach us about it.
Well, first up, I forgot about this segment, so I know nothing about palm reading, but I will
So let's try to ace it. And YAYA will be the palmistry reader from Harry Potter because she's just come out of the shower and apparently her hair isn't normally wavy, but at the moment it's kind of wavy, and that's the link.
Yeah.
The shower fluff.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I'm using my knowledge that I have from year 2, where everyone used to read each other's palms. So, Jordan, let me get your palm.
All
right, so...
YAYA, are you watching? You going to mark this?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, wow, Jordan. Oh, wow. It looks like you're going to live a really long life. So this is your lifeline just here.
Yeah, I know.
It's always like
I've been to a palm reader before. My girlfriend made me go, but I secretly wanted to.
Really?
And yeah, she said the same thing. So you're on the right path.
Yeah, so that you're going to live to be 100 years old, I think, just judging from this. This is much longer than usual palm lines. This one here, see this? This is a rich line.
Yeah.
It's quite short, actually, so it looks like you're not going to be that wealthy, unfortunately.
That's sadder than living longer. I'd rather die at 50, but in a mansion.
Yeah, so, but it looks like you won't have a mansion, but you will have a swimming pool.
Oh, really? What's going on here? A swimming pool? Oh my god! Yes! YAYA, what do you think?
I think I have to. Oh, yuck, man.
Yes,
I think I have to.
It's not moving much. That's part of it. And you're
I
gonna
gotta just say it's very green, man. What's going on there?
I'm pretty
it's
sick
like
at the
it's very.
That's it.
Germs on your hand, Jordan. I have to pass him.
I haven't chlorined that pool yet.
I have to pass him because that was very creative. You touched all like the regular subject.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. This is so nice.
And the creative aspect of it, like you had a little twist there, spinning on the hand. You gotta pass for that. I mean,
awesome. Oh my god! Okay, so what mark would you give him out of that?
I would give you
out of 100.
Out of 100. like 6 to 7, maybe.
6 to
doesn't
7
seem
out of
very low
100.
pass. So if you get 1
That's like
point
a
out of 100,
significant fail.
That is a pass.
6
That
to
is-
7
that
out of
is like-
she's the
100.
teacher. Why are you arguing with her?
All right, thank you.
Class dismissed. You've got detention, young man.
All right.
That
move
is a
on.
pass, man.
Yeah. Oh,
It's a
thank
pass.
you. Thank you. You don't need to wash your hands. All right, so now we're going to move on
I
to...
think it kind of does, man.
Yeah, fair enough.
That
Yeah.
looks like a lot of germs
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah. All right. So now we're doing Jazzed with Jordan, which is a popular segment, which is on its comeback. One that is most popular with Jordan because he loves self-help. And he's going to be walking us through a different self-help guru every week. It's kind of a way of kind of condensing down a ton of information into one idea.
And this music has reminded me that there's also a question. Yeah, I know that we said that there wasn't going to be any gotcha moments,
no.
but no, pretty much the other. It's not that big, really. There's this guy that hates Robbie that listens to the pod called Samuel Troy. I'm using the word hate extremely loosely. I don't know if he does or doesn't, but the point is that the
Like
other day he was
restraining
saying
order?
that you were incredibly bad. He was like, not good at, I don't know, like describing the date that you guys went on, and in place, pretty much
no.
just asked, can you go out with him? What's your answer to that?
Could I go out with...
His comment was like, let me take YAYA on a date and show her like what a real guy would do, like a good date kind of thing.
poor
Pretty blind, he
Robbie.
doesn't know.
So what do you say? Go on a date with Samuel Troy? Or...
No.
Oh,
I
you
don't
get a
wanna.
swipe to the left if
I'm
that's
sorry,
how
Samuel.
Tinder...
I don't know.
Sorry, Samuel. We'll put you in touch, maybe. Anyway, all right, let's move on.
I'll see you on
Way
Tinder. No.
worse than what I expected.
So yeah, Jordan.
All right. And now, Samuel, I know you're probably feeling pretty down about that, but that's fine because this is Get Jazzed with Jordan, and everybody after this probably is going to have a much better life as a result. So, you know, God never closes a door without opening a window, or in or in Tom's case, some physical exertion of universal force opens the door and then closes the window. But look, that's apart from the point. Pretty much there's this dude called Jed McKenna. I've listened to 3 of his books now. It could have been summed up in one sentence that he said at the very end of the 3rd book. So I've got to say, amazing marketing ploy, because I was hooked the whole way.
This guy's awful. Like, so Jordan made us listen to Jed McKenna on the entire drive home from Uluru. So that's
That's a really long drive.
a very long drive. Probably like one of the longest drives you can do. And we had to listen to this guy, this con artist, just rip into us. It was just the worst. And I was just sitting there just groaning the entire time. And Jordan and Robbie are just in the back going like, oh, yeah, that's really insightful stuff. So, yeah, he's awful. We played a bit to YAYA before we started. What was your first impression, YAYA?
I couldn't go past the creepy voice. He had a really like creepy.
Yeah.
I don't know how one could listen to that for an entire
Yeah.
drive from Uluru. Well, I don't know. I could not listen to that for a whole minute. But I'm also like very like weirded out about self-proclaimed helpers.
Exactly.
Who gave you that title? Like,
Well,
who,
he's the
who
main
says that you're
one.
better
Yeah.
in life than me?
Yeah, well,
He's
he's
a really very good point to ask Jed McKenna specifically.
Yeah, because most
Because-
self-help gurus are like, you know, they're just like, yeah, so, you know, I'm just a man, but I've got a lot of good ideas. But Jed McKenna makes the incredible claim that he has reached enlightenment, like the Buddha enlightenment. So he's like, there are a few individuals in the history of humanity that have done this, and he thinks
His
he's
quote,
one of them.
I've looked through history right until the beginning of writing and have found very few human beings that have reached enlightenment. I am one of the only people in the history of the world to reach enlightenment, and that includes Buddha. So he thinks he's more enlightened than Buddha.
He's some jerk from Ohio.
I just love the fact that you just went all buddy with Buddha. I know Buddha. I know that.
Yeah, he knows, yeah.
Jordan, you really nailed that creepy voice there. That was really good.
It's great, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He's just
Being
ridiculous.
a woman and
person.
listening to that sounds awful, don't you think? Like, I was just wondering, did you just go to the bathroom? It's one of those kind of voices, isn't it?
Yeah. But
It's
yeah,
filthy.
he's like, if you
So
listen
he
to his
basically
book...
goes, I can help you reach to my state. Just
Yeah,
give me
that's the idea.
$100
No.
for one podcast. No.
No.
buy my book,
He's just
yeah.
like, I don't care if you give me money or not, because the universe makes me rich regardless.
Yeah.
He's got this kind of,
But
he
he's-
doesn't
What
care.
a
He's
hippie.
not even trying.
But he's such a, like, it's so easy for him because he lives in basically a commune where they just do everything for him. He just wanders around the house, just saying how much he hates everyone in the house, basically, and he just wants to be alone all the time.
That sounds like the hippie version of Big Brother.
Yeah. He's just like this kind of. Yeah, he's so like all his so usually in self-help you'll get like Tony Robbins and he'll have like a really interesting anecdote where like Sylvester Stallone's done something or someone else has done something, but all of his anecdotes are always something that he has done.
And it's always him patting a dog, talking to some 18-year-old and saying how stupid the 18-year-old was.
And how beautiful she was and how she was like, clearly attracted to him, but like, it wasn't like... and it's always him reenacting
him
the
playing
scene.
a video game and explaining to us like this part in a video game that he can't get past.
Yeah, Lara Croft's Tomb Raider. He spends
self-help.
Yeah. So it's like this is like a 30-chapter book, and he spends at least a 10 of these chapters just talking about nonsense. He's just like, yeah, so they're replacing the bathroom in the house, and I can't go in there at the moment because they're replacing the bathroom, but I'm really excited about it. This is the layout of the room. And like he just talks about that. Like, talk about enlightenment. He's just patting. He's
and
just
yet he
down
still
to the
roped in
fridge
people
and-
like you to listen to him.
Yeah, exactly.
For an entire 20 hours drive.
Yeah, so Jordan listens
Does
to this
good
book
work.
and then goes and listens to 2 consecutive books.
And now I'm listening to Jed McKenna's Extra Notebook. So I'm listening to a 4th book of Jed McKenna's.
All right, Jordan, so
Do you
let's
feel
hear.
enlightenment, Jordan? I want to know, do you feel enlightenment?
I reckon he's got it. I actually do think he's got it.
All right,
the
so what's
man
your
has
tip?
a point.
So this is Jordan's tip for the week.
What do you think about
we hit
this?
the,
Yaya, do you feel at more peace thinking about this thought? You're going to die one day.
Yeah.
It works, doesn't it?
You hate that thought. We've spoken about this heaps of times. It freaks you out more than anything
I mean,
else.
it freaks
No, but
everyone
then
out.
just
I don't know.
talks
I
about
just,
it.
it freaks anyone out. But I'll just go with, I'll just go with one word. Yeah. It's a whole other thing
But,
to
like,
dwell with.
Thinking about it from like an atheist point of view, if you thought about that life, right, where there's just like, you don't remember what happened in the 20s, you weren't there, Just like there's this huge tract of human existence, or even just the planet's existence or the universe's existence that you have zero memory of. And you just kind of have this idea because you read in books that like, there was dinosaurs here once and there was like the saber-toothed tiger. But you never saw that shit, right? Mm-hmm. You're only here for like a tiny little fraction, maybe even 50 years. In fact, right now, just like an elephant could just go and charge through and hit you.
Yeah,
It
that's
could
stuff that happened here in Redfern. Elephant come charging through
Toronto
a
Zoo,
door.
man. Toronto Zoo.
It's FBI,
They're out on the
I've
loose.
seen them swim before and they use their nose as a submarine. Fact. It could just be a Snickers ad, but it doesn't matter.
All right,
I've seen it happen.
What's your point?
My point is that the absolute worst thing that is going to happen for all eternity for you is that you're just not going to remember any of this shit. That's it. So, like, everything is meaningless. That's his point. That there is no meaning to anything. There's no impact that you can have on this planet that matters at all. So why don't you just sit there and groove and play video games and pat your dog and write a book about patting your dog? Who gives a shit?
So why is he writing
We're
the
all
book?
gonna die.
What's the meaning behind him writing the book?
Because he says that the universe kind of just pushes you in a direction when you stop caring about things. When you stop caring and just like kind of surrender to the powers of the universe, it just directs you to where it wants you to be anyway. Kind of like a dinosaur just eating grass.
Yeah.
That it didn't. There was never any inclination in that brain to be like, no, I should probably just grow up and become an accountant and I hate my job and shit like that. Just was here for 80 years eating grass and then it died.
Yeah. It just doesn't seem like that. I can't believe it took 3 books for him to get that deep. Like, what? You're going to die and you should just, like, come to terms with that. Like, that's...
But I reckon
It took
that's
him
why
that
you were
long.
such a relaxed man. Because you're always in these high-pressure situations. Like, recently, you just did an ad for the most evil corporation on the planet, Nestle, right? You know that they kill, like, 1.5 million babies in Africa a year.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they do.
What?
Well, they're responsible for,
And they
like-
make cocoa as well. How good is that? They make, like, chocolate and things like that.
Yeah.
Just all these pictures of happy kids on the front being like, yay, Kinder Surprise. That
Meanwhile,
company.
kids in Africa.
Yeah,
What?
well, they're just seen as being really bad because they're on the surface so good because they
Yeah.
make like jelly snakes and stuff. But they also like buy water and sell it like in like really like drought-ridden like African countries. They'll buy up like a lot of their their fresh water and then sell it back to them and stuff like that.
And Tom did an ad for them recently to expand their evil empire even further. Well done, Tom.
Thank you.
Selling out. Selling out.
In the worst possible way.
If you're gonna do
For
it.
shame. There was no point to bring this up in the pod either. Just wanted to do it to make them hate you even more.
He's turning into some nasty shades of red right now.
It's not like they're not that bad, guys.
You don't understand. They've come up with a new baby formula. That's the new thing. The ad is about them marketing, because this was about them weaning baby formula onto African kids, but obviously because they don't have correct water or measurements, because everyone's not educated there properly, they don't know how to make the formula right, so they're weaning them off breast milk, which is obviously way better for babies, and that's the death cause.
Yeah.
Now they're saying, we've learned our lessons from Africa and we've got this new formula that we're trying out in Papua New Guinea.
It's not quite that. It's not that really. But
That is, no.
But it doesn't matter, because we're all gonna die.
Jed McKenna. That's the other thing he does throughout the book, is between chapters, he'll read out like a quote, and then he'll be like, in the end, we all die. Jed McKenna. Like, he'll quote himself.
That is the most morbid signature. Jed McKinnon out. You're gonna die.
And Jed McKenna doesn't sound like a self-help name either. It's not cutting enough, or it's not spiritual enough. It sounds like he makes pulp fiction literature that's about military missions against Russians.
What would you suggest for him to change his name to sound more spiritual?
Yeah, what's a really spiritual name?
Jed Key McKenny-Wan, don't you think?
Deepak Chopra.
No, that just sounds like you. That just sounds like you turn into a whole different nationality there.
Yeah, it's like
I present you the Thai version.
yeah.
Jed Key also sounds like he's a Jedi Knight, one of those guys that you see that's backing the Emperor in those red robes.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
that guy, but he's also a key. So it's just one of those little nerd key paraphernalia pieces. That's the author of your Spiritual Awakening book.
All right, well, yeah, I guess that's quite a good tip. So, yeah, everyone take that on board. And
you can be like Tom.
Yeah, and you'll be really relaxed. All right, now we're going to do Taboo Tightrope. So, we play this all the time, which is a game where we talk about something which is really controversial or politically incorrect, and we balance on the tightrope of controversy until one of us says something which is just too inappropriate, and we beep that out, and that person loses the game.
So, YAYA, when you were asking beforehand, is this pod edited? This is pretty much the only thing. So anything else that you say that you're ashamed of, that you thought was too offensive, you don't want us to hold it against you in the future, sorry about that. It's happening. Except for this segment, so get it all out there.
I didn't sign anything yet.
But yeah, anything that gets said in this,
bad
we can.
choice, wasn't it, saying it then? All right, all right. So what is this week's Taboo Tightrope?
So this is a theory that Jordan holds very close to his heart, which is that a lot of people get therapy nowadays for depression or different mental illness, and Jordan thinks that rich people shouldn't be allowed to get therapy. Yeah, already looks shocked. All right. Explain yourself, Jordan.
All right. How many rich people do you know?
All right, hear me out.
All right. I thought about this. It ain't rambling, you right? Here's what we've got. is that if you're... How many people do you know that live in a mansion that have been like, oh, God, just the most fucked parents. Just awful. They treat me so badly. And then you ask them about why they were treated badly. And they're like, just my dad never comes home. And I never see my dad. I need to go to a therapist. That kind of stuff. You always just hear these ballers that have these minute little problems that have been in a psychiatrist's lounge for 10 years of their life. When there's people like in... I don't know, the Druid, for instance, or something, that have just seen, I don't know, they're just like, yeah, my mum died like 3 years ago, she was a crack addict, and my dad's like stolen my car the other day to sell for crack. Like those guys, they never go to psychologists, but you always hear these people being like, my dad just works really late, so I have this fabulous mansion.
Well, they can't afford
Money is not a substitute for love, Dad. Yes, it is.
Well, yeah, I have a few problems with it. What do you reckon?
So many problems with it. Jordan, what's wrong with you, man? No.
Yeah.
We're all, complex in our own ways, and regardless of the.
Oh, how is their life complex? Do you think? I went to a fancy private school. I didn't get into the university degree I wanted to get into. I got into the second choice. It's like those kind of problems, isn't it?
Look, I don't think that. Obviously, these are not like, shocking, groundbreaking problems like such as hunger and having a crack addict mom. But but Jordan, come on,
so much better in an Israeli accent. Crack addict mum. I want one of those.
Hebrew accent. Hebrew.
Yeah.
Whatever. The point is, it sounds great. And yet another reason why we're glad Robbie's not here.
Thank you.
Well, my first problem with
good. Featuring ethnic female Robbie.
Yeah.
We do got the same hair waves.
It's much less hateable.
And less pasty.
Just laughing about Robbie. Yeah, all right. Well, my problem with it, Jordan, is that I reckon you're looking at it as though like everyone's on the same kind of default and that everyone just fully gets what it's like to have all these problems, and then like they're just like, well, like on the scale of 1 to 10, mine's only a 2 problem and mine's a 8 problem or whatever. But isn't it like the person that's grown up with the crack addicty mum could have a very similar like psychological reaction to the dude that has his parents ignore him his whole life? Like it's like even though one's clearly worse than the other.
What are you talking about? The crack addicty mum clearly ignores the kid on top of doesn't feed the kid because she's too busy scoring crack. She works way harder than the bloody owner of an accountancy firm anyway. That's a 24-hour-a-day job, scoring crack.
Yeah, my point is like, she might be worse, but the rich person doesn't know how bad that is. So like,
I know, so shut up. So shut the hell up.
I know.
Your life is great. Stop whining about it.
Yeah, but they don't know it's great because to them it's like they've, it's like just a relative thing.
So how can you have any sympathy for them at all because they don't know that their life is great?
It's not even about that.
Little ingrate. Yeah. Man, if there was one right here, I'd smack him.
The other thing is that like it's not only to do with wealth. Like there's plenty of rich people that would have like alcoholic parents and plenty of poor families that would have really good parents. Like you're just assuming that if you're poorer, you're a worse parent. Like that's exactly what you're saying.
That's another point.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a. It seems
no. You've
too
misconstrued
general.
my argument, Tom.
Your argument is really weak, man.
Yeah, we like you a lot, all right? But that's all right. Do you want to say something which is like really inappropriate so we can beep it out? No.
Yeah, I was going to say something, but then I just realised, like, I don't know YAYA that well, and I don't want to say something really offensive.
All right, well, just
so how about we just, yeah.
There you go, Robbie. Beep that.
YAYA, do you want to chuck in a couple of swear words? Or? Oh, yeah, okay, sorry. All right, the cat's out of the bag.
He's shaking his head so profusely.
We're going to let you in a bit of a secret. YAYA, we didn't think about this, doesn't know how to push the button on the Friendlyjordies podcast.
Robbie is here.
But we've taped his mouth. We've taped his mouth so he can't speak. So he's here not as an employee anymore, but just because we've been friends with him for years, just as a favour.
So Robbie has actually been pushing all the buttons. Say something, Robbie. Hi, how's it going?
Yeah, I can't really speak, but...
Oh my god, we ruined it. Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, this kind of like a test run. So we're seeing how YAYA goes today, and Robbie's just kind of, it's like a transitional period, I guess. All right, so now we're going to go on to Terence McKenna. So the second McKenna today, which is, he's kind of like a self-help guru, but he's just got a fried brain because of decades of taking mushrooms and just any hallucinogen you can think of. It's something he actually prides himself on, is how he has taken every form of hallucinogen like there is what his claim. He's like very well versed. No one would be more well versed in hallucinogenic drugs than Terence McKenna.
He also looks like he should be alive in the Middle Ages, but not in the Middle Ages of our world, of a fantasy world where there's always some doting giant that walks around and this big brain that's this pudgy little ugly man talking next to him, just being like, "Open up that gate, Bill. Get out some camels and steal them."
Yeah. You should definitely look him up on YouTube.
Speak with a lisp, but he has an incredible voice.
Yeah, his voice is amazing, so just look him up just purely for the sound of this guy. But yeah, so I was listening to him today. I listen to him most days, and he has the most ridiculous theory about UFOs. But
it's a pretty screwed up way to go to sleep. You know, a lot of people go to sleep with the television on, which is terrible anyway. But
that's me.
Yeah,
it's so shit.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's bad. It is.
Oh, gross.
Finally, we agree on something.
Your last moment of consciousness before 8 hours of sleep is just like, "On the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon."
Yeah,
gross. And you dream about what could have been.
Yeah.
That episode. I never heard the lineup, and then dream about that. But in Terence McKenna, that's Tom's version of that, is listening to this academic stoner that has these ideas that are just insane. He just listens to insanity before going to sleep. I really don't know which one's worse.
Yeah. So yeah, today's one was
Do you dream about it as well?
Terence. Yeah, sometimes. First name basis. Yeah.
Terence.
Yeah, so his so this is the theory that he has. He genuinely believes this, and he puts forward, he has hours worth of lectures on this one topic, and it's a pretty amazing theory, but I think it's ridiculous, but I'm going to try and convince you guys that it's true, and you need to try and poke a hole in it, because I actually can't too easily poke a hole in it. So he's so this is a speech he's delivering to UFOologists, people that just claim that they're experts on UFOs and aliens visiting Earth and that kind of thing. And he comes up and he goes I'm going to talk to you about UFOs, but in a different kind of way. And his way is that he thinks that aliens have put they put mushrooms into the world, onto Earth.
It's always mushrooms.
Yeah, he loves mushrooms.
Always damn mushrooms.
Because the chemical components of firstly he says look at the fossil record. Before it's the first trace of mushrooms, according to Terence McKenna, is 8 million years ago. And the claim that there is no fossils before then, common science believes that there aren't any fossils because they're soft-bodied things, so there isn't a fossil record of things prior to that, but there are. But Terence McKenna is saying, but it's ridiculous. We have other soft-bodied fossils from 3 billion years ago, or whatever it is, just some crazy amount of time. So he's claiming that aliens came down to Earth, put mushrooms on as a technology, which can then evolve itself, and have kind of put within
magic mushrooms.
Yeah, well, just mushrooms in general that have psilocybin in it, which is the chemical that gives you the trip. As kind of a code into the mushroom.
See, this is just gross, isn't it? We're in FBI talking about mushrooms, and we know heaps of detail about the active ingredient in it that gets you high specifically.
Yeah, but he talks about
it's always
Did
happens.
he do this podcast on mushrooms?
Yeah, it's a talk. He's yeah, and he talks mainly about DMT, which he says is if you take 30 milligrams of DMT, he's it's just true. He's the one thing that UFO people can't do is they don't have repeatability, which is a major thing in science, that you need to be able to repeat experiments. So people just always claim yeah, I got abducted by a UFO, and they're well, can you show it again? Obviously not. So it's really hard to prove it. But he's just trust me, it takes 5 minutes. The trip is 5 minutes long. it's that simple. It's if you just take 30 milligrams of DMT, you will be visited by elves. This is claim. Thank you, Robbie.
And shut up.
It's YAYA's day, all right? So he's so if you get visited by elves, he just lists out all these insane, he says he claims calculus was invented because of information that was given on different kind of hallucinogenic trips, and he claims that humanity in general has the reason that we have got to the point that we're not just like any other animal, and that we've progressed in terms of technology and our minds, is because of hallucinations through mushrooms, and that we've learnt from that, learnt to use tools because these elves told us to do it, or just trips in general changed the way our consciousness works. And he's saying it because over time, it's the idea is that we're going to learn to to develop technology to the point that we're then able to contact these aliens and send out like kind of like a beacon almost. So it's kind of like, and then he goes all into like spores and how there's like each mushroom can like produce like 3 million spores. And he's like, how else would you spread the word throughout a galaxy, throughout a star system? He's like, instead of sending like a spaceship around, how inefficient would that be to go to like dozens of galaxies? He's like, just throw mushrooms out. And then as life like evolves, they'll then send out signals themselves. So, like, through this, like, kind of coded message, which is within, like, a mushroom trip.
Man,
What?
you do really like this theory, though. You say it very disparagingly because you don't like to admit that you don't like anything that's not hard science. But the amount of excitement on your face, I've been to Wet and Wild with this man. He's gone down slippery depths, and at the end of it, just been like, that was fun. Shall we go to the next?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, though. It is a cool theory. Like, it's crazy, but, like, it is an awesome way of trying to, like... Because he says, like, if you take the right amount of DMT, you'll hear a voice that will talk to you. And he's like, if you ask, a psychologist, they'll say, like, well, it's the first sign of schizophrenia or, like, something like that. But he's like, across cultures, the voice will always be the same tonality, but it'll talk to you in, like, a different... in your language, right? So it can speak to you. So, like, it's his claim that, like, he's like, well, what's with the tonality? Like, it's like, or just that there's, like, you're being spoken to. And he's like, well, how else would you communicate? It's like...
Really good point. He's convinced me. If it's the same tonality the whole way through...
Yeah.
There's got to be something to
well,
that.
yeah.
I don't have anything to poke holes in that. I think it's a perfect theory.
Maybe I need to like try it out. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's his biggest point. He's like,
try
just
it out and see where those elves are coming from, and I'll let you know then.
Yeah.
Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you at least giving it a go?
Well, I wouldn't know where to get it.
You're just outright dismissing it.
I'd be open
nuts,
to trying.
I've seen your bath, Matt. It's filthy. You definitely grow it on that.
Well, it's seen as like the most kind of like hardcore hallucinogen you can possibly do. So I'd be pretty hesitant to just like jump onto that because it's like it's a 10-minute trip, but apparently it's like psychotherapy for you. Like it's just something that would just destroy you if it went badly.
And notice how, seeing as we're on air, everyone's eyes nervously darted away when we started going into the "why don't you try it out" moment. Yeah. It's purely because we're on here, but come on, we're all in FBI studios. Like, we all at least know someone who has. And if this wasn't getting recorded live, this would just devolve very quickly into like, yeah, Dave once tried it out and he saw like 10 mouths on his bed. He didn't leave his bedroom for 2 days. I hate that story. Stop repeating it. It's not original anymore. Come back to me when you stayed there for a week.
So let's not talk about that. So, all right. Now, Robbie.
Do you have a theory to add?
Do you want to remove your blindfold or are we not doing that?
Can I?
No.
Just a little taster, just
I've
a little
got so
test.
many things to add. I can't even tell you. Like, each segment, I've had great points.
Oh, stop. You're just trying to put yourself forward. You're just trying to, like, top YAYA.
I'm just telling you the facts.
I say take it off. Can I?
Oh,
Yeah, all
Okay.
right.
Fine, all right.
Y'all have nothing but good ideas so far.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a good idea, but...
thanks, YAYA. Thank you.
All right, YAYA. I mean, Robbie.
Hi, everybody.
So used to saying YAYA already.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about you, Robbie.
Great job, YAYA. You've really held
you.
your own there.
Thanks for doing this.
From now on, you're not even
I like
called-
it how every time I speak, this musical all of a sudden goes up.
Yeah. Robbie's trying to drown you out. Yeah. Trying to keep his job.
That's just
You passive-aggressive, bearded Yaya. I've forgotten your name too.
it's not even true. So.
All right, well, what's your theory then, Robbie?
What about the aliens?
Yeah.
No, I like the idea that
So you said you had great
Alright, well,
points
why-
for every
yeah.
segment so far.
Why have you
The
taken
one
the
that we
tape
asked
off
you
then?
on,
I'm not
you just
gonna-
wasted time.
I'm not going to take you through a laundry list, am I? You know,
Fair point.
You know, past.
Really don't want to listen to a laundry list.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
Robbie.
fine.
So now we're going to do quickly YAYA. All right, so next segment. If you could live in any time period in the past.
No, the segment's name is, if you could live in any period of the past, which period would it be and why? Dash, not interested.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
now that that's settled.
Okay, so what period of time would you live in?
60s.
Huh. Interesting that you should bring that up, Yaya, because not interested. The reason why we brought up this segment is because we're now moving on to segment 2, which is related to segment 1 almost entirely. We pretty much did it just for that one tiny little piece of segment.
The reason we're not interested is because, don't you think, over the time, people don't change? It's always the same kind of people, but just like set into in different kind of like spaces. So our example is that
you can't remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. So it's like take medieval times, right?
For example,
look, I have to say this point.
You don't
it's
like
not good enough for this segment, but anyway, carry on. I don't reckon.
All right, Jordan, you continue. I'm just getting to it now.
Well, as Tom was saying, and it is entirely his theory, and he doesn't like it that much, but I love this idea. He walked past these cops, and YAYA is texting someone.
Are you kidding me?
On air.
Do you want the job or not?
Robbie, shut up, bearded YAYA. YAYA's allowed to do whatever she likes.
All right, keep going, Jordan.
Listening.
Okay, so Tom's saying that he walks past this cop, right? Pretty much anywhere at any point in history, those people existed, and there's guys that you see in the Middle Ages that have one of those helmets on when knights were no longer respected, and they just got the absolute dregs of society, the drunkards, to guard towns. And they'd say things like, "Halt! In the name of the king!" and "Who goes there?" Those people, right? As if they're not cops now. Those are just cops, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like modern day version. How is this not a revelation to you, YAYA? Can you please put in like a bit of effort? Like, you're still far better than
What do you
bearded
mean? That was
YAYA.
my
but-
excited, yeah.
Is this a revelation to you, Robbie?
What? I
So it's
knew
just
about
like-
this beforehand. That's why I had the opinion that I don't think this is...
So you don't think it's revelation?
I don't think it's that, because I think it's just the same occupation, right? It's just an earlier iteration.
Yeah,
of
but they're
that
the same
occupation.
attitude. It's like, stop, who goes there? And then now it's just like, hey, oi, mate, who goes there? Who's that?
All right,
Yeah.
You know.
The only thing that's changed is the language from "who goes there" to like "who's there? Get
Yeah.
out now.
Yeah.
okay.
Come into the light."
Or like, in the name of the law, or in the name of the king.
I'm not completely discrediting it. I think it has some worth. I just don't know if it's like full segment worth.
Yeah, you may be right.
Especially because the last part of this segment is the part of the pod that Robbie would hate the most by a mile, because it includes him getting kicked in the nuts.
No, honestly.
And it was originally going to be Tom, but Tom very aptly pointed out, you know what, Jordan? You never do anything in this podcast ever except get both of us to do horrible things to each other all the time. You're pretty much just a pornographer, an audio pornographer.
So you're going to do it today, Jordan, but you get to do a good job, I guess.
In front of the camera.
So, Robbie, you are a guard. You're a night watchman, Robbie.
You're not even, we're friends now. This is not going to go into a workplace health and safety lawsuit, because this is purely just friends having a laugh on air now. So I can't kick you in the nuts, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Should he get a choice, though,
We
maybe?
could just not be friends anymore.
Should he get a choice between the nuts and the contract of, like, asking someone out?
I said
No,
you
that's
should ask
part of
someone
it.
out.
That's both.
It's both. He's doing both. So, like, if the choice is just him asking someone out, or him asking someone out and getting kicked in the nuts beforehand, which one's a better alternative?
I don't want him to, like...
Get mad at you. Robbie's been giving...
Robbie's like, what?
Yeah.
Hey, he's the one that's like gonna do the beeps after, so I just got me out completely.
Yeah, Robbie's been giving YAYA the
I
cold
say-
shoulder the entire...
I
Pod.
say both.
Not true.
He did get a bit
Put your
sassy in the
basket tape
beginning.
back
I
on.
was like, oh, where was that sass when we went out?
Well, you just never wrote back, all right?
I can bandy about some sass. There's no problem there.
Okay, so, Robbie, you're a night
That was
watchman.
amazing.
And you...
Robbie being like, I can be quite the rough customer.
And Jordan, you need to try and get past Robbie. He's guarding the king. All right.
So because you have the most
Such a
hateable hair in the
weak segment.
room,
But
and
don't
you
you-
have a beard, you have to be that cop. You're the closest one we have.
I'm fine with that. That's all right. I'll do that.
Don't you
Great.
think as well it's a weird coincidence that as soon as you come back onto the pod, the weakest segment begins?
That's your fault.
Yeah, we can't retort that. Get in front of the door.
All right, really quickly. Run up there, run up. Okay. Jordan, run up as well.
Okay.
All right, and you can just yell into that mic over there.
I don't know if the levels are going to be good here, but...
That's fine.
I don't really know. It's not.
So, Robbie, you're a knight. Hold your spear up.
Oh, wait, I'll move.
Really quick. This
you
is
hear?
terrible for radio. Huh?
Is this good radio? Can you hear?
Is this good radio? I don't know, mate. Just do a good job and it might be. We're on a losing streak.
Okay, all right.
All right, put it up your spear.
Oh, let me just put music
Oh my god. This is awful. YAYA would not have made that mistake.
on. Okay, here we go.
All right.
Can you hear that?
Yes. Yes, I can hear it.
Can you hear me over it?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes. All right, quick. Go, Robbie.
Please, you can't be in a hospital.
Yell out who goes there.
Who goes there?
Louder, wait, louder.
Who goes there?
I'm Jordan from the East. I seek counsel with the king. It's my right as a citizen of Redfern Dale.
No, sorry, mate. You're not allowed through.
Wrong answer, mate.
Jordan has just tried to knee Robbie in the balls. Oh!
Spanked Robbie.
All right, sit back down.
Hair and kicked him in the gut.
Yeah, trade back, Mike.
I used to at this onslaught of violence.
Okay, so now
Genuinely confusing.
I know these are always so confusing, aren't they?
Oh my god.
All right, so now Robbie, run out. You need to ask someone out
Really?
to be reborn. All right, so this is the option. You can be known as the Night Watchman for the
Forever.
rest of the pod,
The night watchman that was kicked in the gut and can't even do his job right
or the Golden Dragon.
can be reinstated if you go out and ask whoever's on air right now, which is a 50-year-old bald man, for a coffee. You don't necessarily have to do it in a date-worthy way. You just have to ask him, saying, please, I'm just a really lonely guy.
Just do it like you're a mate. Like it's just, hey mate, like you want to get a coffee sometime?
What, do I have to get his number? What do I...
Yeah, if he
just
says
ask.
yes.
Yeah. If he says yes, get his number. Go out and ask.
Do I have to record
He's
it?
on air. Yep. Go on.
Oh my god. That'll be...
If we were massive cocks, we would say right now that this is only available to Patreon subscribers, whether or not he got it. Fortunately, we're not.
Yeah.
If you want to subscribe to Patreon, please do.
Yeah, let's use this time to quickly give a little shout out to our Patreon supporters. So yeah, join
Whoever
Patreon.
they are.
And you
Can't
get little
remember any
extra
of their
bits.
names.
Yeah, we have extra bits as well. We've done that once.
How do you get him to do these things?
How?
Okay, he's now in Studio A. He's confused. There is a man that's extremely scared. Has no idea why there is this madman in his room. Like you can't look at that man's hair and think that he's sane.
And some guests have just come in. Sorry, mate, we're on air right now. All right, yeah, I think you just
I think he
asked.
just did it. I think he just got the
Yeah,
number.
they just did a knuckle, like a fist bump. So yeah, good work, Robbie.
Approaching Studio B now to give us the details.
If we have a number, Robbie is reinstated as the sound guy and the Golden Dragon.
If
Robbie?
not, YAYA is the permanent replacement.
Or Robbie is the
Robbie
always
is
back,
the-
but he's the Night Watchman for now.
So there's heaps of options.
he's-
We don't really know them that well either.
He said yes.
Yeah, did he?
Yes.
That's bullshit. He did not. You're a
So
liar.
he did, but okay, we'll check in the audio later.
I had to ask him to, but like he was like, "What are you talking about, man?"
For all we know, you went in there and you're like, "Oh, I'm just a mechanic. Is everything all right? Yeah, cool."
Yeah, you could have just like
That was
completely
really
made
short.
it up just to get the soundbite of him saying yes.
I don't know. I'm very flustered.
That's fine.
quite
So is
a
everyone else.
traumatic
This has been a
pod.
really higgledy-biggledy pod. Thank you very much for listening to the whole of it. And if you fast-forwarded to the end, go back, because there was just some really great banter there, I can assure you. Thank you very much for listening. See you next week. YAYA, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks, Yaya.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.